Hello, welcome. No intro, no any of that stuff. We're just jumping right into Ironheart. We're talking about the entire 6 episode series. My name is Tony. You know me through It's Fanbox or at Mr. Marvelite everywhere on socials. With me, let's just go ahead and start off. Johnny, go.
Hi everyone, I'm Marvelous Johnny. Remember, Marvelous is spelled with 2 L's because I am Canadian. Y'all can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. Yeah.
All right, and go, David.
Hey, I'm Xanatos1138 on all socials. You can find me mostly on TikTok, but I am Xanatos1138 everywhere.
And you can also find more content that we're making through It's Fanbox, itsfanbox.com, or if you want to go and find us and all the things that we're attached to and in podcast form, go to fanboxnetwork.com. That'll give you a listing of all the stuff that we're doing, plus the things that are being done by our partner podcasts. Especially like the Real Study and the Real Arena, which we've been sponsoring the last couple episodes. So super excited about that. And also tomorrow, because we'll be back in the swing of things, doing TARDIS talk, talking about Doctor Who. We're finally into season 2, 2006. We're in a whole new year. When it comes to going back to the oldies but goodies, and we're doing New Earth. So watch it beforehand and then join us at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific, or as like we like to say, Johnny's time. And so we'd love to have you.
My mornings.
Absolutely. Be sure also to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Or if you're not already, maybe you're on Facebook or whatever, go over to YouTube and follow us there. We really would appreciate it. But Riri Williams, Ironheart, I kind of like how they did this show, kind of like the Endor season 2, where we got like a slew of episodes.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant.
Yeah, like because I giving us like a 3, like now they could have done more. I feel like we could have gotten 9 and done like a 3-week type thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I felt like we got more from these episodes. The episodes felt longer. So let's just go ahead and go over overall opinions of things. Johnny, I know you just got out of K-pop Demon Slayers, but and that's probably taking over your entire cerebral cortex.
Dude, all I got is Soda Pop played in my head right now.
That's what I've heard. I haven't watched it yet.
Yo, you gotta watch it. Okay,
about to.
honestly,
Yeah.
no. Very quickly, off topic. I know, very on brand for us, but like, you watch it. I'll get a couple of others who have seen it or will watch it, and we can talk about it on a different episode.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm also kind of reeling right now. I need something good because honestly, other than the episode, I was really disappointed with episode 1 of Dan to Dan because I don't like the intro. I feel like the intro music was so much better in season 1, but that's a whole nother thing. And if you're under the age of 16, don't watch Dan to Dan yet.
Watch Mashal Magic and Muscles instead if you want to hear creepy nuts. It's the name of the group who plays Dan to Dan's original opener for season 1.
I know. I'm just
I know, phrasing,
which is funny.
Context is necessary.
If you really think about it, how on point were they with Dan to Dan having creepy nuts do the intro music?
I haven't seen Dan to Dan, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, we need to talk offline.
Tony,
okay,
I'm very stingy with my anime.
When you understand the context of the show, Creepy Nuts doing the music is by far.
I did recently get Crunchyroll, so I'll give it a go for you.
You got to. Like, listen, okay. I wasn't even interested in the show at first, and within the first like minute, I was sold.
All right.
Once you hear banana for the first time, you're gonna be like, I'm sold. Whatever.
Okay.
Because especially your interests, you'll like it.
Okay.
But with that said, let's talk about Marvel.
Yes, get back to Marvel because we gotta talk about this before Fantastic Four comes out in like 2 weeks.
Oh geez, yes. We're 6 days from Superman. Yeah. 26.
Actually, technically less than 6 for me because I'm watching it on a Thursday at a fan event. So if anyone wants to see photos of me in a Nightwing costume at a Superman event, be sure to follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm watching Superman and Fantastic Four, I think the day before the release date, just because there's a showing.
I might be able to catch
Nice.
Fantastic Four at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm still waiting on their panel releases, so fingers crossed. If not, then I gotta go buy tickets in the States.
Yeah, Marvel. I think none of the studios are doing any like movie announcements or anything like
I
that. So
know there's no MCU movie announcements. I'm hoping that's just them going like, yeah, no, we're not doing any movies, but like, here's a little bit of TV. Here's like a little teaser for Marvel Zombies, maybe some X-Men 97 season 2, despite the fact that Bo DeMaio, despite all his controversies, is now out of the show. But yeah.
so with that said, I was trying to start with you. Overall opinions, Riri Williams, Ironheart. Tell me.
Ironheart, good show. In terms of the way the 6 episodes are set up and everything, it's still very much within that Marvel Disney Plus era formula. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's still very much in line with that, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, nor necessarily a good thing, though. But I think what actually makes it better than most other MCU shows is the fact that the story feels like there's a lot of stakes, and you feel a lot more of the themes and then the impact that comes with every single decision that's made. Because I think that's a big issue with some of the other MCU shows. It's just the fact that choices feel lackluster sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Okay. David.
Overall, I like the structure. I like all of the musical choices that were in these episodes.
Mhm.
The way that they were like kind of snuck in there, like all of like the needle drops, and just like what Johnny was saying, with every choice that Riri made, it felt very, very heavy because she always made really bad decisions. Well, not always, but often, and then she felt the consequences of her actions almost immediately
Yep.
afterwards. I liked seeing Alden Ehrenreich in
Yes.
something, and I haven't seen him since I think he was in Oppenheimer, and I've seen him as Han Solo. This was a very different character for him.
If I may recommend Cocaine Bear if you want more of Alden as this type of character. He is great in Cocaine Bear.
I've seen Cocaine Bear. Okay, I just forgot he was in that.
Right?
Yeah.
He plays a really mopey guy down on his luck who needs to deal with a very absurd situation. Am I talking about Ironheart or am I talking about Cocaine Bear? You tell me.
Well, and it's also kind of fun because we've had both Han Solos in the MCU now.
Yep.
In the same year.
Yep. It's funny. I was trying at one point watching Ironheart, I was trying to figure out where I was getting the similar, like it's like everything was cascading on in and on of itself. I mean, let's face it, when you get to the context of she's basically a teenager, she's not even in her 20s, mostly she's not even in her, she's I think what, 17 years old at this point because she went to
Yeah,
MIT
she's like
at 15.
19 or something, I think, at most.
And she's the smartest person in the room, but at the same time she doesn't have the
Emotional intelligence,
reasoning and the emotional
honestly.
intelligence and experience. And she's trying to like quantify. I was trying to figure out like the situations where she's trapped in, what does it remind me of? And I was thinking back to Luke Cage, and going back to the Netflix series, and how when you had him versus Cottonmouth, and there was like, it was like always like him like stuck in this situation where it's like, yeah, I could probably do the right thing, but how much collateral damage could there be in the process? And you kind of notice that, and kind of seeing how there is, and I'm saying this in pun intended, the devil in the details. Because the more I sat on this show and thought about the ending and how they did what they did, I realized how orchestrated it was the whole time. Because the whole concept was, I believe the hood was meant for him to capture her. And so like I look at the show and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of pleading with broken people and damaged people, and there's damaged, post-traumatic stress and everything else. And that was basically the main theme of this show. And I absolutely I enjoyed it. And it didn't feel like a series to me. It felt more like one of those special presentations. It's just that we got it in larger clumps for the 2 weeks that we got it. I didn't get into it though until after I got back from the trip. So I basically did the whole series in one night.
That sounds nice, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, at least for me, like I watched them as they came out. Like I didn't watch it immediately. Like
Mhm.
I remember watching episode 3 by the Friday of that time, because
Yep.
like I'm gonna be completely honest. When Ironheart was coming out, like it was on my radar. When it dropped, I completely forgot it dropped. But at the same
Mhm.
time, it's just my hype for the show wasn't there because A, marketing really didn't convince me, but also B, it was announced at the same time as Secret Invasion,
Mhm.
and that
Yeah.
still leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, yeah, Secret Invasion is like the bar, like
It
the low
is it
bar.
is the worst thing the MCU has ever produced, in my
And
opinion.
I have
Yeah.
never said that about an MCU project until Secret Invasion, so I can at least say that Ironheart was better.
It's significantly better.
Yeah, there's really yeah, there's nothing in Secret Invasion that really redeemed it for me.
Yeah, no. But away
Yeah.
from that terrible show, back to
Yeah.
Ironheart.
Yeah.
Overall, though, because like since I stopped at episode 3, because I had to wait like 6 days until it came out next. The ending of episode 3 really sticks with you, I think, because like a lot of our superheroes in the MCU, like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, they kill and they move on.
Yep.
It's not really a consequence for them. Spider-Man doesn't like to kill, but in Endgame we see him even activate instant kill mode, and that doesn't really affect him until the decision
Yeah,
of
because
taking
I
an
mean it's
actual human
creatures.
life.
Yeah.
Exactly. The decision to take the idea of taking life isn't exactly established, I think, with MCU heroes or within the MCU films until like No Way Home, even.
Mhm.
Because
In
that's the only time I've ever felt like, oh, I can't take a life or anything like that has really come up. But
in
Yeah.
that moment of episode 3 where she's having a panic attack, which they did really well, by the way, like
exactly.
Yeah.
getting you in that perspective. But I was more concerned about Joe than I was about the cousin that was dead. It's like, oh man, Joe's gonna get in trouble. That guy suffocated, but he was trying to kill Riri, so that made total sense to me.
Yeah. And like I felt the stakes when the nano skin was left behind. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, she's hurting everybody around her.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was the most emotional I got with the whole thing.
Yeah, no, her choices are leading to consequences, which
I
I love.
I do also like okay, so if you've not read the comics or anything else like that, and you don't have really much of a context, the AI that worked with Riri Williams in the comic books was
Was Tony for
Tony
the most
Tony
part.
Stark.
Stark.
Yeah.
Yes, because Tony Stark was in a incubative state because he
He
was
was in a
basically
coma
dead.
after Captain Marvel knocked him out during Civil War II, and then it's later on revealed that the body actually died, and then he had like a body backup uploaded.
I
Yep.
like because of this show, I started reading the comic, like where she's introduced, and like that's kind of how I know that Marvel did its job, because I started reading this comic, and I'm like, Tony Stark just mailed her this hologram of himself. And it was a really funny way to just be like, here,
You
and then
know,
it's Tony Stark.
it would have almost been exactly like Tony giving Peter the suit, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
also him giving him Edith.
yeah.
Like it was unnecessary. And so I really like what Marvel Television did by by getting that off. And I also like the fact that it was a glitch,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it was something that she didn't really want. Natalie was amazing in the show. I want more AI like
Highlight.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
Natalie was like my favorite, probably. Of that.
I am
Very
hoping
quickly,
that
I
at
think you're
some
gonna
point we
get that
get
in Vision
Friday.
Quest, by the way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because with
That just
Jocasta,
clicked. Huh?
you think Jocasta?
I mean, do you want the spoilers? Because I am aware of some of the casting news
Okay,
for
don't
it.
tell me. Don't tell me.
Okay.
Don't tell me. Okay. Well,
Yeah, Natalie was a much better choice to do for the MCU,
Yeah.
especially because having more Robert Downey Jr. would have been fucking hilarious. It's like,
Wait.
what
Very briefly,
again?
though. Did you see RDJ came back for the advertising for
Yes,
Ironheart, though?
yeah.
yes,
It's kind of nice that he did that.
yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, would he have done that if he wasn't coming back as Doom?
Maybe he came back
Ooh.
as Doom because he realized they weren't bringing him back for Ironheart.
Probably.
He's like, I need buddy, I need to get paid. And I'm like, you're a millionaire. You're good.
Yeah, but like, do you think that a giant Avenger symbol that lights up in his house pays for itself? No, that costs money. And he did confirm it, by the way.
Explode
Steal
from
the Avengers A from Age of
yes.
Ultron and have it shipped
No,
out to his
he
place.
didn't steal it. He just said, "Hey, what are you gonna do with that?" He's like,
True.
"Send it, ship it,
Just
ship it
pack
to me."
it, ship it to my house. We're done.
Yeah, But you have like people that are like being hunted down for rogue costumes. But it's like whatever. Okay, so so yeah, Natalie was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Part of the reason why I feel like there's some sort of like orchestration with the deal at the end is because of what happens when they infuse magic into the suit at the end. I feel like that's like, okay, the power is linked to the individual, and that individual is able to manipulate his powers.
Mhm.
And so she was taken away for the specific purpose of getting that deal primed and set. But I the hood.
Anthony Ramos.
I loved how they misdirected us talking about Dormammu.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And then because I'm sitting there, I heard Dormammu, I'm like, well, I guess all of the spoilers I heard weren't right. And
Well,
then
yeah,
When
exactly. That's the thing, because like I still remember the casting that like, oh yeah, no, Sacha Baron Cohen's gonna play Mephisto, which by the way, screw Sacha Baron Cohen. But I still remember that casting news, and then hearing like, oh no, the hood's linked to Dormammu. I'm like, I guess they got rid of him because of the current geopolitical state of the world.
well,
And then later on, it's revealed he is Mephisto. I'm like, oh shit, okay, we're actually doing this. Hell yes.
when I heard them name drop Dormammu, I'm like, all right, it's probably not going to be Dormammu because they're saying it too easily.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
And
at the
then
same time, though, like the original, like in the comics, the hood
Yeah.
is linked to Dormammu,
Yeah.
which is why
Right.
I'm like, okay, so they're just going down the comic book path. That's fine.
yeah, but at the same time, they're like at this point, it's like so adjacent to the comic books. Face it, after Age of Ultron, I knew that they weren't going to follow any rhyme or reason
Mm.
with what they were doing, but it's fine because I think it was enjoyable. Zelma Stanton.
Yep.
Uh,
First introduced in Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange comic, which I own.
and not like the comic book character, but absolutely enjoyable, and I want more of her.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting there going, this is so within a 30-mile radius, where's her coven? Like I just want to know. Like Agatha all along, I'm like, people like this season 2. Like I was almost wanting to see her like her auntie be one of the witches that we saw. Like just
Legit, it would have been really cool if Jennifer Hale came back from Agatha
Yes.
all on. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is my niece.
yep.
The characters have zero relation, and I am just saying Jennifer Hale because the character was black and would have been, convenient to have her back, but it's whatever. But it
Yeah.
is an interesting idea to like, oh yeah, no, sorcerers are just really common in the MCU now.
Mhm.
Like they're all over.
Mhm.
name
I think
dropping
that's the-
Carmitage, Doctor Strange, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea that there is something mystical or different on every street corner, is by far the coolest idea, and I think it helps world build a lot. But yeah, I love the character. I love how the fact that she shifts him to her little lair, and her mother is like completely upset because she's like,
Like
"We've been
you
doing-"
had this, you had the upside down.
that
pretty
was
much.
I got past it, but at first it was really abrupt. Like, oh, so we're just doing magic now, and
Yep.
it just walked her mom right into it. Her mom's freaking out. That was then it became really funny because they're just all reacting to what's around them.
Yeah, and the fact that we have Riri, who is like super intelligent and is great with technology, depending on magic now, is just
Which,
and-
in my opinion, I freaking love because
magic infused suits, like
exactly.
yes.
Like it's also like kind of like just prepping the audience for Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is very techno and necromancy adjacent.
Mhm.
So
Well, it
you
was
know.
like what was it in the comic books? There's the Asgardian Iron Man suit.
yes,
Like you have like these magically infused metals and stuff. Like
Mhm.
it's just a fantastic thing. Or you get like to the what was it? Was it with was it the dark
the Darkhold.
the dark, didn't he infuse the Darkhold in a suit, and the suit consumed Tony in one of the worlds?
I think that was during like the Darkhold one shots they were doing a while back that they had for like Spider-Man, Wasp, and Black Bolt as well. Actually,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, let's face it, let's just lean into it. I think with the success of Agatha all along last year, I can see them wanting to do more of the magic mystical stuff because it's fun and it's
is.
different. So
But like at the same time though, like Agatha gave me the magic stuff that I wanted, like the weird incantations, the singing, and like the words of power. Whereas in this, we go back to just the hand wavy magic stuff, which to some extent visually is cool, but like with how the comics work is that it was a very verbal thing. And I wish the MCU would do that more.
I don't know what it is about, like, but visually with magic in the MCU, I love when there's giant circles. Like when she made the giant circle and it slammed it on the ground. It's like, that looked so cool.
It was cool. It was cool to look at.
It
I
was.
won't deny.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Fortnite graffiti
emote or that too. Okay. I do want to ask though, what did you guys think of the first suit and then the final suit? And how do you think it compares to the Wakanda Forever suit?
So we're talking about this suit?
Yeah. That first suit is really dope, and I like what happens to it even after.
I don't have the final suit, but then there's also this suit, which it's all blurry in this one, which is more like the Junkyard High suit. But yeah, I will say, like, the last suit got us closer to the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the heart like reactor like in the middle. I would have loved it to have been more off to the side. But I definitely liked it. I could see where there was like definitely playing into the Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the fact that it came out of the car.
Okay.
I thought that was great. But I don't know. I want it leaner for her. Like, I feel like it's too big and bulky. Yeah.
It's very much the opposite of her comic book counterpart, because the comic book version of her suit is just, it looks skin tight almost. Like, it's very form fitting.
Yeah.
Which to some extent, you know, like, all the power to it makes it stand out from the Iron Man armor, but I kind of like what the MCU is doing, where it's just like they're just going in the complete opposite direction, where it's just like, yeah, makes sense as to why she would want a bulkier, more defensive piece of armor.
Can I also say the fact that this is the first time that we're looking at gauntlets that were longer than the actual person's arm?
Yeah.
I loved that. Like, I'm like, oh, that's a cosplay must.
I still remember when Tony still has like the gauntlet on in Iron Man 1, and he's just like adjusting it, and he's just like playing with it. It's just, you can tell it's like, it's pretty much just his arm almost. So to see that for this was really cool.
Yeah, I did.
I don't remember what the Wakanda Forever suit looked like.
Do you want me to get the figure?
If you,
I can easily get it. Give me 3 seconds.
Now I'm gonna wait for Johnny to come back. I don't think he can hear.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough.
So, yeah, I mean, I liked the red and black suit. I just thought it was funny how she's like, her mom's like, yeah, so I just bought the car back, and I'm like, so you could have just funded Riri that entire time, huh? You had enough money.
A little bit, yeah. I'm like, didn't that take a loan or nothing? Like, what do you have to do for it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, she wasn't paying for college because she had a full scholarship.
Exactly. I mean, maybe it was her old college fund. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to jump a little bit because I know David wants to say something too, but I have to say this. I saw a lot of people giving some crap to the show. Of course, it got a lot more quiet at the end of the series because I think
people saw
was
Mephisto
really well done, and they saw Mephisto, and they're like, oh, you know, and they're too busy, you know, like getting off on that, and so they didn't complain as much as they would for other stuff. But and of course, it went up in score on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, which we really don't care. But I saw some people complaining. It's like, why does Riri have to go to crime to fund her suit? Tony Stark built his suit in a cave with a box of scraps, and I want to sit there and go, do you freaking realize what those box of scraps were? Those were $1 million Tony Stark
military
weapons and ammunition
weapons
that were sold to them, and he used those. And honestly, that phrase is so misused. He didn't just build the suit. The whole time that Obadiah Stane is talking about built it in a cave with a box of scraps, it's only talking about the freaking arc reactor.
And even then, that was a very flimsy arc reactor.
And
because Tony says himself, like, this thing can like only power a thing for like 15 minutes.
Both Obadiah and Riri do not have all of the details that the audience does.
Mm-hmm.
Obadiah was not being literal in that statement either. And Riri just saw Tony Stark as like, oh yeah, this spoiled billionaire can just build suits on a whim. She has no idea how he started. And that same suit that was built with a box of scraps was also built with the help of a whole other scientist.
Yep.
And it like I've gotten all this context from other TikTok creators that have been like
Mhm.
helping me with all of the pieces because of answering these chuds online that are just complaining about it. But as Tony's flying away in the desert, it all fell apart and he fell in the sand. Like
Exactly.
it doesn't even last that long.
Yeah.
So you have to be comparative to basically like if you put the amount of a material available, um Tony Stark's Mark 1 with all of that ammunition and all of that material and all of that stuff with the help of another person was a very basic suit that had gears and was basically like a propane tank on his wrist. Like it wasn't
He
that
had to like
great.
knock the missile just to even launch.
Mhm.
But you go and you look at what Riri made in Wakanda Forever that she had in that garage, and it was
During that
far
chase scene.
superior.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was far superior to what Tony had. The girl's a genius, and there's no question about that. But if you would have given her the same, like, because again, what did Tony have when he came back to do the Mark II and Mark III? He had an entire fabrication center in his Malibu house,
Yep.
and he had the ability to use a holographic ring, and he had a AI that was running all the calculations and doing
True.
everything for him to be able to let him do the more technical stuff that he
An
wanted to
AI
do.
that was honestly much more compliant with his demands.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that about Natalie. Natalie
Mhm.
like challenged her. And I think that's something that I like about like AI, the concept of
Mhm.
the different like suit
It was
interfaces.
also just like the fact that Natalie exists as a consequence of Riri not actually dealing with her problems as well, though, is so good. And the fact that she still doesn't continue to deal with the issues, which then
Mhm.
leads her to making a deal with the devil. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That first AI, that like word processing pencil though, that was really funny.
Oh
Oh,
my
I
god,
love
dude, it
that
reminded
guy.
me of Clippy.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yes. And I love how like she like hit the helmet and he's like all like
He
affected by
got
it.
all jumbled.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, screw MIT for shutting it down while she was mid flight. I'm like, legally, I think she could sue them. Just saying.
Oh yeah, like that was like attempted murder. Like
Yeah, very
yeah.
much.
Yeah, and I also love the fact that like we did get to see the guy from Civil War again.
Oh,
From
Dean, the
yeah,
Dean from
yeah.
Community, as I like to
Yeah, I
call him.
just or I just
I
see
call
him
him
as
Dean Pelton.
hey, look, he reminds me of Doofenshmirtz as well. But like but at the same time it's like um I was kind of surprised like that they hated on her so much. Like I get the whole, plagiarism and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff, but like she's the genius. Like
She is a genius. But at the same time, like from the school's perspective, I get it. Like academic integrity is matters so much to institutions themselves, right?
sure. Yeah.
Because let's look at real world implications for the moment. How would you look at Harvard if they were complacent with a certain orange man's demands,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I see. Yeah. Now I do have a question. Like I remember the Stark Foundation fully funding
Yeah,
all of the so was she not like presenting like her project as something that she wanted to do
I mean
with
she
the
was a
Stark
part
Foundation?
of it. Yeah, they were more than aware of her stuff.
But like, why wouldn't they have fully funded the suit? Well, I guess, yeah,
Well,
never mind.
I think a part of it is like Riri knew that if they funded it in some cases with the Stark funds itself, she wouldn't actually own the patents and everything that she created in association with the suit, nor could she actually keep the suit. It would belong to the school in
Yeah.
many
Plus, I
cases, right?
also think with what happened with damage control, wasn't there a thing where it's like AI has been outlawed as well as like super suits in some situations?
Not sure about AI.
Well, I think after Ultron, the AI became a thing.
I'm gonna need to go find Sokovia courts. But also, like, wasn't it revealed that the Sokovia courts were dismantled during She-Hulk?
That's what I thought.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I realized there was a day and time where I was so in with what like all of the world like actions that were going on in the MCU. And I
Same.
think with the level of the shows and stuff, I just kind of got like, well, if they're gonna muddle things up, I'm just gonna sit back and just
I'm just gonna
enjoy the
enjoy
ride.
things and think about it last kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like me in Star Wars.
I think like my attention span for certain details in the MCU dropped off around Quantumania, honestly.
Oh yeah.
And then it died with Secret Invasion. Not to bring that show back up, but
Dude, I used to know every little stupid detail about Star Wars before Disney bought it, like all the expanded universe stuff. And then the expanded universe was like my brain has no more capacity for more shit. I can't
and
do
then
it.
they hit the good old
At that
reset
point,
button.
it's
Like, I
over.
don't want to learn more. We're good with what I got. It's all
Yeah,
fiction anyways.
it's yeah, very much. Like I had room for Marvel. I had room for the Jurassic Park
Oh my
franchise.
god.
Yes, and then like let's face it, once Jurassic Park became fantastic or Fast and Furious, it was over with.
Yeah.
Shout out
Um,
Jurassic World Rebirth. That was actually a pretty decent movie.
I
haven't
have
seen
yet
it
to
yet.
see it. And I don't really know if I want to.
So it is like Fast and Furious, and like you kind of go there for the dinosaurs and the stuff
It's all about
happening.
family.
But that's the thing, is like the main creature of the film isn't even like a proper dinosaur. It's just another genetic mutation. By this point, it's just making a monster film.
It looks
but
like a
I'm sorry.
xenomorph. It looks
Yeah,
like a
no, I heard
Yeah,
about that.
oh
It looks
yeah,
like a combination between a xenomorph and a rancor.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I've seen a number of people taking the toys and doing like lip sync stuff with them, and it's hilarious. So yeah, it definitely looks like a doofus. But yeah, what was it? Someone did the Young Frankenstein's, put it on a Ritz, and they had a T-Rex toy singing the song, and when it got to the Frankenstein going, "Anybody do it?" It was the whatever the new Rex thing was. Yeah.
You
Okay.
guys, you know what? Just reminded me of. You guys ever seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
Yes.
The thing at the end when he pops out of the stomach and he starts doing "Hello, my baby," hello," like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that creature is
The play
probably
on
what that dinosaur looked like.
God. You need to turn that into a TikTok right now. I'm telling you.
And then we're getting Spaceballs. We're getting another.
We're getting
Spaceballs
a
movie.
second Spaceballs. Jesus Christ.
And we're getting Rick Moranis back. Like I thought we were going to get him back for Ghostbusters, but I'll take it for Spaceballs.
I mean, I kind of want him back for another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh,
I'm good on those. Those
Yeah.
movies got so far
I
gone.
think after Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, I was done.
Wait, what?
It was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, and I can't remember what was after that.
I was only ever aware of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
There
Honey,
were
I Shrunk
two
the
Honey I
Kids,
Shrunk the Kids.
and then he's doing whatever, and he shoots his newborn, or not his newborn, it's like a toddler child with it, and the child begins to become giant.
Huh.
And then
Okay,
he has to like blow himself, or the mom blows her, like he enlarges the mom so that they can kind of like get shrunk together.
Okay, then.
So it's like a giant baby on a rampage. And then the third one after that was them shrinking themselves and their neighbors' parents. And so the kids were like free range while the parents were basically enacting the first film all over again.
Mhm.
Okay, then. Good to know.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
And yet I still have no more capacity for additional franchise
That's
stuff.
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, don't forget about Doctor Who, and that's just ever more complex additions.
But somehow that's easier
Yeah.
because if you go back and you're like, oh, I don't remember that. It's like there have been episodes that I feel like I slept on and I didn't like pay attention to.
Like me in
And
that
I'll-
one episode that you keep referencing that I, as of right now, can't even recall.
Wait, I gotta think about which one it was.
Because
Oh.
I think you know exactly which.
No, I think I forgot because it's been a couple.
Okay,
weeks.
see, that's even funnier then.
Man. Okay, so when you go back and you watch an episode, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I can't believe I missed this. But then there are certain episodes, like, I'm sorry, if I watch Dinosaurs in Space one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind for a little bit.
Chris Chibnall. That's
Yeah.
the Chris Chibnall episode.
So,
Wait, Dinosaurs in Space. That was
Chris Chibnall.
Wait, no, that was the 11th Doctor.
Yep.
Rory, and that's like the first
And
time you
Rory's
see
and
Rory's
and
dad.
Rory's dad. Yep.
I loved that episode.
But the thing is, I've seen it too many times now because
Don't.
I like I told you guys, I play like shows on like repeat. Like I'm getting my max subscriptions worth of everything, and so like if I'm not watching Big Bang Theory, I end up watching Doctor Who, and so it seems like I wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep always when Dinosaurs in Space is on.
You're like, oh god, dinosaur in space. Let's just shut that off and go to bed
Queen
instead.
Nefertiti.
Oh, and then the big game hunter dude.
Yeah.
The first alpha male. We'll just
Oh,
whatever.
god.
So yeah, but
But back to Ironheart.
yeah, so back to Ironheart. Like, okay, so I completely understand and empathize with the fact of Riri doing whatever she can. But this is again as a kid where I love the fact that when she finally breaks down and she says, I need help, I can't do this, the mom's basically like, I've been waiting for this.
Yep.
I watched it twice through. The first time by myself, the second time with my mom. When Riri said that, I saw out of the corner of my eye my mom go, "Finally!"
Yeah. Yeah. Us
I-
kids don't realize,
I was
there are
gonna say,
times-
like, I wonder how I'll view media when I'm a parent.
oh,
Because, like, as a child still who's got nothing in his love life, it's just still very much like, you know what? Like, yeah, I get the compulsion not to ask for help, and when you finally break down, it's you're thankful is there. Because that's my reaction for Ironheart. But if
Yeah.
I'm ever a parent, I'm just like, fucking took you long enough.
well, it's funny though, because like when you're married, you notice red flags in other relationships, especially like when it's fictional relationships. You're like, yeah, that's not healthy. And then when you're a parent, you can't handle violence towards children anymore. Like you go into like shows. Like I remember the first thing was my kid was probably 3 months old. I was watching the ABCs of horror, and it was the one if you don't know, it's like an anthology of like horror or like whatever, like shock films. And one of them is an intruder that basically kills the wife, and the husband's on the line while she's killed. And then all of a sudden you hear the baby screaming while the murderer is talking to the dad. It basically goes, hold on, I got something to do. And you just basically hear the baby. I had to turn off the movie. I'm like, I can't do it. And you become more sensitive to those things. But yeah, you notice like certain things with parents. You're just like, you either look at the parent like they're terrible parents, or finally like your mom did, David.
It also depends on your relationship with the parents. Like what
Mhm.
Riri's mom said in the show, like you could always talk to Gary, but you could never like say anything to me.
Mhm.
And that's the
Because like
thing.
she
Yeah.
had more of a direct relationship with her stepfather because he had the same kind of
Interests.
inquisitive
Yeah.
mind and interest as she did.
Yeah. Yeah. Riri overlooked her mom and what her mom could provide. Yeah, and that happens a lot. I think as a kid, my mom
Which
looked at me like, you had to, I've been telling this to you for months, and you had to hear it from somebody else, and
Yep.
then you accepted it.
I'm
Which is
still
very
like that to this
frustrating.
day with my parents.
I still just do my own thing and then find out the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, like, if I'm correct, like,
Mhm.
I've only ever read bits of Brian Michael Bendis' Ironheart runs, but Riri doesn't also, like, she doesn't really have much of a relationship with her mother in the comics.
Relationships with
recall.
parents are kind of optional in the MCU or in like the Marvel universe, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
but, like, with the MCU itself, it seems like parental relationships are much more in the forefront, like with Kamala and her family.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, in the comics, they don't know she's Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
Whereas in the MCU, they do. They're very supportive. We love the Khans. We love how supportive Mr.
Yeah.
Khan is of
Well,
Kamala.
I want to say we also love I think I've loved the cons in every iteration of Miss Marvel. If I think back on it, like in the comics, it wasn't her dad that was the one that gave her the pep talk about loving herself. It wasn't the imam. So
Yeah.
there was that. And then even in the horrendous, I can't remember, I'm bringing this up again, the Square Enix Avengers game, like that whole relationship between her and her dad, I absolutely loved it.
It was great.
It was
I
great.
will
And
say-
then you got to the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That Avengers video game, the main storyline was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The rest of it is where it was suffering. But the
Yes.
storyline was pretty cool.
Hey,
Yes.
man, I enjoyed playing as Captain America a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, see, I
I hated playing
Miss
as everyone
Marvel.
else, but yeah.
Yeah, I like playing as Miss Marvel. I was okay with Iron Man. Honestly, I could take her to leave it with Captain America. So
I don't know why, but I was just a big old Cap main in that Avengers game. But besides the point.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see what else was really.
What do you guys
I
think of the
loved.
crew? Oh,
I did. That's what I was gonna say. I
oh,
love
nice.
that crew. I thought they were fun. I want more Madripoor hijinks.
That would be
Uh,
fun.
yes.
However,
Um,
I was thinking about this part. I was like, they reminded me a lot of something. And then I was recalling the MCU. I'm like, right, reminds me of Ant-Man's crew.
yes.
Just
And
a lot more lethal and more dysfunctional.
yeah. And I thought Rampage was gonna die in the beginning. Like I'm like, you can have a person with that face like that, like that's known
I am
in like
so
comedy and
disappointed
not
Eric
take it.
Andre wasn't in more of the show, though, because I freaking love Eric Andre. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he was
He's got a lot
great.
of colorful jokes that like don't land for me, but like overall, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
My headcanon is his character died just like that meme where he shoots the person in the chair. The hood's just standing there. See, I solved the
Boom.
problem.
Oh
Man,
God.
trying to think what else.
But yeah,
I love the hood.
yes.
I liked how he was consistently getting more unhinged
Mhm.
as he went. And I'm like, let's face it, he was trying to be Dominic Toretto
Hmm.
at the
Yeah.
beginning. It's all about family,
But it's also so funny that by the end of it, though, we only just find out like, what's your entire motivation here, just for wanting all this nepotism? You just wanted to be a nepo baby,
Yeah. Just
and you
wanted
know
daddy to
what?
love him.
I mean, not even the dad love. He just
Well,
wants
no, yeah, it was
dad's
more like
power
revenge on
and
his dad.
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
was
which
it was actually surprisingly hard to like disagree with him in some things
mhm,
because it's like, oh, your dad abandoned you when you were 12. Of course you're messed up.
yeah. But at the same time, it's just like even for me, it's like you know what? Just wanting nepotism and wealth and security and power.
Mhm.
That's a pretty good motivation. I can get behind that.
I will say one of the things that I wasn't expecting to love was Ezekiel Stain.
Mhm.
And absolutely, like, first of all, like, I was kind of shocked that he knew what his dad did. He was trying to make amends for that, but the
Mhm.
whole rest of the world thought that Obadiah Stane was this
It was a
heroic
fucking
person.
saint.
And they're like, and the things that they're saying, like him knowing what Obadiah did, and
Mhm.
then being like, you've tainted the name of the Stain family. Ooh,
His
oh, oh.
his ashes being in a Ziploc bag were also really funny.
It was, but
Obadiah.
at the same time, I'm just like, damn, they burned his. How'd they get him out of the Ironmonger suit?
Yep.
Because I'm just imagining Shield Agents trying to lug out his corpse out of the Monger armor, and then just yeah.
They used Pimtech and shrunk him first.
Yeah, there you
Probably.
go.
That's
There
true.
you
They
go.
just called up Ant-Man and was like, "Hey, Hank, can you help us a little bit? We just need you to shrink this, and then you'll be fine. We'll let you off." God.
Well, just like all you have to do is cook the whole thing, and whatever's dusty at the end, that's what you scoop up.
God. Oh God. You know that also does make me realize now, though, like somewhere in an old Shield facility, they have the Ironmonger suit. Then,
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least they did at one point, and Hydra
and then
had it. And
Hydra.
then
Oh God. To see now, there's an entire plot point you could do with
there
Minuscule
are so
Shield
many plot points that they have like overlooked. Um, we had the Ultron with the red eyes in Damage Control in
for
Homecoming.
Homecoming,
We
which
have we know that a large amount of shield materials have been commandeered and taken by Hydra and have been dispersed amongst other groups. We know that even though Hydra's main like cell is gone from Ant-Man, which was after Age of Ultron, that there are remnants of Hydra that are still existing.
mhm.
There are so many things like that they could keep going with that they just have left by the wayside and will never get,
And
gratification,
hopefully
which means
Ironheart
Marvel
season.
Studios, give us a freaking Ironheart season 2. Do not give us that cliffhanger and then not give us no.
I
No.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, what if they resolve some of this in like Armor Wars?
This is the reason I despised that cliffhanger and the end credit scene because it told us nothing and we have nothing announced to wrap it up. And with Disney and Marvel's track record, like Disney,
Disney
you
more
know,
than Marvel lately, I think, because
like
Disney's like,
just
we need to put a just pause on a bunch of Disney Plus
well,
content.
no, just like, when they did all this stuff for the Acolyte and then decided we're going to cancel this.
Yeah,
So like they don't
Oh,
have any faith in the project. So like with this, they don't have anything new announced. And then with Marvel's track record, it could be 5 years before it even gets a resolution or a continuation, and it's gonna be in somebody else's project.
Now, the only thing I could say
Like with the
is,
Eternals in Brave New
Yeah.
World.
so here's my thought. I think it would be great to have an Ironheart season 2. I also think that that's probably not the course of events. It probably was never in the plan, because I feel like the way things are going with Doomsday, that there could be a deal with the devil that's going in that. And I think that Ironheart or Riri could probably be a pawn of Mephisto to help, because I could see, because like, let's face it, um, we're not going to have Doom going off into the universe, finding basically the essence of God and becoming God Doom. But I could see him making a deal with the devil in his dark magic to create some type of battle world, because the universes are imploding and the incursions are happening on themselves.
Also, slightly related, because now we're definitely not going to get it unless it's already been filmed. But rest in peace, Julian McMahon, the
Yep.
very first live action Doctor Doom that I know of.
Second,
Which
Second?
because there was
Oh,
that
'cause of
original
the Corwin.
yeah,
Yeah.
the one that was never released in theaters. First ever live action on screen version of Doctor Doom. Yes.
Yes. Which by the way, regardless of like the storyline, I did love that suit.
That was
Yeah.
a dope suit.
It was a
That's the thing.
great
He
suit.
didn't have a cape. He had like a
He had a
body.
cloak.
Yeah, he had like a body cloak that could like clip and
Yeah.
everything. It looked pretty sick even then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what's funny though? I remember him more so as Carolina's alien dad in Runaways.
You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
Julian McMahon. I've been binging a bunch of FBI shows. Like there's FBI Most Wanted,
he
and
in
FBI
them?
International. He was in FBI Most Wanted for like half of the show's run. He was in like a few seasons,
Mhm.
and then his character got killed off. But it was really interesting to see him in that, because he had this like really gruff demeanor, and it was a very different characterization. Because I've seen him in the first thing I ever saw him in was Nip Tuck, and he was an
Right.
asshole in Nip Tuck.
Yep.
He was just like, he was kind of like Tony Stark in Nip Tuck in essence. So he had lots of range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Absolutely. Yeah.
R.I.P.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him until he did the Doctor Doom for that Fantastic Four series. And it was
I-
funny though, because I mean we were not given a standard for superhero films. I remember at the time I thought that was a great film.
I don't hate that first Fantastic Four
I
film.
don't
I'm
hate
not
it,
gonna
but
lie.
yeah.
I still have fond memories of that film.
I just remember when we got to Rise of Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Car was basically had a Hemi. I was like, no, no, you didn't.
It's the same vein for me that they're announcing all this Street Fighter stuff,
Yeah.
and the casting looks atrocious to me.
Who did they cast again as
Like
Ryu is being played by Andrew Koji, right?
I think like that's the only one I'm not familiar with, but
Dude,
like,
you gotta watch Warrior. I'm not kidding. Watch Andrew Koji in Warrior. He is amazing in that. You will love him.
but they keep casting like wrestlers for parts, and I'm still holding on to the 90s Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't care how
And Raul
high
Julia
on
as Bison.
like, yeah, he was like, I'm pretty sure, and this is going to be an R-rated statement, but I'm pretty sure that Jean-Claude Van, not the wrestler, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'm pretty sure was coked up for most of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
See, this is why I'm just glad I'm a Mortal Kombat fan over a Street Fighter.
Oh, I see. I love the original Mortal Kombat movies too, and that. Oh man.
Where you have a white Raiden.
But here's the thing, like, what was it? The 1990 Street Fighter film was the first time I'd ever seen an after credit scene. Because when you go to watch the movie, I don't know if it's in the theatrical release, but it was in the VHS. If you watched it on VHS, after the credits were done, they did a zoom on the rubble that had fallen on Bison, and his hand comes out of the thing with a remote, and basically it does rewind.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off for me.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Never mind. Good, prove me wrong.
What else is there to Ironheart?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Like, I love the magic element of it.
Yeah.
I I was angry. Like, you guys probably in the Discord channel that we talk on, yeah, I was a bit frustrated I felt like she had learned so many lessons coming through the 6 episodes
Mhm.
that when she got to the deal with the devil, I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you
No,
didn't.
it
Come
like
on.
how they were framing it too. They're jumping around like, okay, is she thinking about it? Is this like the possible future? And then she's gonna say no, because she just learned, and she even said out loud, "Yeah, this is a terrible idea to do that because it's wrong. It's the devil. Look what it did to the hood. I'm
Yep.
gonna just do it anyway." Like,
But at the same time, imagine how Spider-Man fans feel when Peter made the deal in one more day.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had about 50 years worth of comics. No, not even 50. Probably a little bit under 50. But like we had God knows how many years of Peter Parker stories. And even Aunt May told him in that book, just let me die. It's fine. I'll be okay. Just let me
Yep.
die. And he still goes on to make the deal.
that's why the more time passes, the less I like No Way Home. Like, I'm
I like how it's No Way Home and not the original comic that they pulled from.
well, I know of the original comic. I refuse to read it. That would just anger me.
Oh, give it a read. It's so fun to read because J. Michael Straczynski didn't want to write it, but they made him write it. So the entire book is just J. Michael Straczynski going like, "This is everyone," just going like, "This is a stupid idea, but we're still gonna go through with it." And I hate you, editorial, for making me do it.
Well, think of it this way. There's still a chance for Peter Parker to make a deal with the devil
Yeah, true.
because all you have to do is like tease the idea of bringing Aunt May back.
Oh fuck. I kind of want that now.
I mean, we know it's possible because Natalie's back. So
Here's the thing. Like, I like Marissa Tomei enough. I kind of hope they do,
Yep.
but at the same time, how much of that would be undoing Aunt May's moment in No Way Home?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not averse to doing stuff like that because they made Rhodey a Skrull.
That's
And
true.
almost every meaningful thing Rhodey ever did was the Skrull doing it.
And they killed off Maria Hill in the very first episode to fridge her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thanks for reminding me.
We should honestly talk about Marvel, like MCU sins. Go from Iron Man all the way up to Ironheart sometime.
Well, it's like the whole killing off Phil Coulson, but then bringing him back on a show, but never giving him a movie.
Okay,
like,
but I
appearance
like
ever in
Agents
the
of
future.
Shield.
I
like
love Agents of Shield, but like the dude, like they did adjacent things that affected the events of the MCU, and yet they never.
I mean, he still dies by season 4. Yeah, no, he dies at the end of season 4.
Yeah,
He becomes an
and he's an
android.
AI.
Yeah. He becomes
Well, he's
an
possessed
LMD.
at one point, I think, and then he's an AI. Isn't he? Yeah.
All I remember is he was brought back because of Kree blood. He made a deal with the Spirit of Vengeance, becomes a Ghost Rider, and then becoming the Ghost Rider undid the thing that saved him. So then he ends up dying by the end of season 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then we reach into the weird future, going back into the past version of Phil.
Well, we don't ever know that he officially dies. He just kind of goes off.
Yeah.
With Melinda.
Yeah, she does confirm that he died like with her, but they never go into detail. And I still think my personal opinion is Agents of Shield is canon. I don't give a shit.
I'm with you on that. Agents of Shield is 100% canon, especially now because we had Mephisto go like, "Sorry, I was dealing with other things," and you 100% know he meant a Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. That's something we desperately need in the end. Like I can live without Blade for a little bit longer. I need a Ghost Rider.
Do not let JJ hear you say that.
No, I love Blade. I absolutely love Blade. I want, but like I need a Ghost Rider, and I don't care.
Ghost Rider.
Like not necessarily Johnny Storm or not Johnny Storm.
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
We're getting Johnny Storm in like 2 weeks.
Yes.
We're going to get Blade in Marvel Rivals before we get Blade in the MCU.
Dude, Blade. We're getting Blade in August.
Hey, we're gonna get GTA 6 before we get Blade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on that. We'll get World War 3 before we get Blade, though, probably.
Let's see. So yeah, I think that's a good like synopsis of the show.
Good show.
Honestly,
Would recommend.
do you know the one thing I don't remember seeing at the end of it was Ironheart will return?
Yeah,
No.
no, I was waiting for that. It
Yeah.
was not there.
Yeah.
I sat through all the credits just to see what they would say, to see if there was a what right, the post credit scene was with the Hood going to Zelma. Right. Never mind. We're good.
Yeah. That should be fun.
Hey, I'm just glad they didn't kill off Anthony Ramos as the Hood. Because
Oh, I know.
I was fully expecting them just to kill him off, and like, yeah, no, the Hood can
Yeah.
just go on to whoever.
Let's not kill off our villains anymore. Let's let them live and fester and come back bad again. Like,
I didn't realize he did some of the music too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least one song I heard in one of the end credits.
My wife looked at me and she goes, "You know, he's in Hamilton." I'm like, "Yes, I know."
He cheated on someone too.
Yeah. He was also in the last Transformers film. He was also in The Heights, which is my favorite of.
He's
of
probably going to be in whatever G.I. Joe film they're going to do to tie back in with Rise of the Beast.
Which
He was,
was
great
really,
in Transformers.
Yeah, well, it was really funny. Dominic
So was
Thorne
fucking Pete
in one of
Davidson.
in
I
one of
hate
the
admitting that.
in one of the interviews that they were doing for the show when they were doing the press junkets, I guess someone mentioned In the Heights, and like Dominic went into a full Usnavi like a whole full set of lyrics from In the Heights, which was hilarious. So he liked it, so it was cool.
Last MCU project where they killed the villain was Deadpool and Wolverine. Now that I look at it, because they killed Cassandra, or more so, Cassandra killed herself. But
yeah, but what's his name? The TVA guy. He didn't get killed though.
Paradox. Yeah.
So there's still that.
True. Paradox is still.
And Goliath is still around.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to kill Goliath when it's just a CGI creature, and Marvel does not need to employ anyone to really play him.
Yeah. We also have the High Evolutionary still alive.
High Evolutionary still alive. Dar-Ben's dead.
True.
Which is so unfortunate because she is Tom Hiddleston's wife. And I'm like, damn.
Adam Warlock's alive, which that can cause a whole lot of things. And still, we still have, what's his name?
Kang?
No. Oh, Lord, no.
I mean, Kang is...
No, Bob. We still have Bob.
Oh, yeah, Sentry.
Yeah. In the Void.
We do. Kingpin's still alive, as well as Bullseye, luckily.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see Kingpin interact with Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's not allowed to. At least not in the movie. Or actually, no, they can't, because MCU can only do Spider-Man movies or animated less than 45 minutes or 30 minutes TV shows, I think it is. Whereas Kingpin can only appear in television and live action because
since
Sony owns film rights for Kingpin.
Since Sony has abandoned their weird D-list obsession with Spider-Man villains, I really hope that they give them rights back or make a new deal soon.
Just Disney, just buy Sony, please.
Well, I mean, what was it?
Actually, no, I don't want that.
Sony's pushing for Miles Morales to appear in Brand New Day.
I mean, Miles is canon. We got Uncle Aaron with Donald Glover, so there's that deleted scene of him on the phone talking to Miles. Well, and then we get him in Beyond the Spider-Verse in the Prowler suit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which,
I also,
by the way,
I also
really
like the I also like the fact that they were, when they were talking about the tech that they were offering, he was definitely interested in the gloves, the
grapplers,
the grapplers, yeah.
I love how much I remember that film.
I've watched Into the Spider-Verse a lot. I've only watched Across the Spider-Verse a little bit.
Oh, I mean, anyone who knows me knows I don't like Across the Spider-Verse. So
Into the Spider-Verse was a lot better overall. Across the Spider-Verse was only good when you see like all of the Spider-Men. It's like, oh, look at that one. Look at that one. That's from the PlayStation game. Like, you can spot.
They're like, stop Spider-Man. They're like, you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it if we run through the shows as well? Agatha doesn't really have a villain. Wait, no, it's Death. Death is still alive. Yeah. Death is still kicking in the MCU.
Yeah. Love the prosthetics too. I think I love that show even more after I saw what they did to her with Plaza.
With the
you realized it was all practical effects.
Yep. I love that so much for the show.
Yes.
We have Echo, Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
What if we're not going to count Loki season 2 was just Kang, kinda, sorta, Ms. Minute,
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains, Ms. Minute, and Ravana,
Yep.
all of whom are still alive.
Yep.
And we don't talk about Secret Invasion.
So of the Phase 5, since Phase 5 has officially come to an end.
Okay, wait. I'm curious. Where do you think Ironheart is the end of Phase 5? I'm curious where you think the end of Phase 5 is and where Phase 6 starts. Where do you guys want to, like, mentally, where do you put those?
I kind of feel like Phase 5 ends with Ironheart.
Okay.
Maybe not. I mean, we still have Fantastic Four coming out, so
Yeah.
I think it's going to end with Fantastic Four.
That's the thing, because, like, as we've seen in the past, like, Phase 1 ended with the first Avengers film, which the only film, like, every single phase ends after the last project of that year.
Mm-hmm.
Or film, at least in some cases. So by all that kind of standards, it would mean whatever project we're getting in December, or at least Marvel Zombies, I know we're getting in October. So that would hypothetically be the end if you were to go by what I just described. But at the same time, the idea of Fantastic Four either being the beginning or the end of a new phase for the MCU both work for me.
I feel like because I've seen some of the I've read some of the comic or all of it for when like a whole universe gets wiped out, everything, like a whole comic panels are white type of stuff. I feel like that might happen in Fantastic Four, and that's why they bleed in, like they come in through a portal in their ship because they might have failed, and that universe might have gotten wiped out.
Or they succeeded, but in succeeding, they got knocked into a different universe.
Yes. But also, did you guys, I mean, you guys might not have, but have you guys seen that leak for the Fantastic Four First Step comic?
I didn't know there was going to be a comic.
Somebody was posting about it, but I didn't see anything.
So, comes out next week on the 9th. It's like an in-universe canonical comic kind of a situation. It's written by Matt Fraction, by the way. Wait, let me double check if it is Matt Fraction. Yeah, it's Matt Fraction. He's the next writer for Batman. Most people would know him as the writer for Hawkeye, the one that the show takes a lot of inspiration from. But anyways, in the Fantastic Four comic, they have Mole Man in it. And he looks a lot like the actor Paul Walter Hauser. If I sent you guys a picture of him, you would know what he looks like. But have you guys seen BlacKkKlansman?
No.
Yeah. Okay. You have seen BlacKkKlansman?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the shorter dude who's kinda...
Oh yeah.
There you go. Him.
Yeah. He's also from This Is what was it? This Is Us, I think.
Is he in This Is Us?
No, I'm wrong.
He is in Cobra Kai.
Yeah. He's the big awkward guy in Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
He's in Super Troopers too.
He's it's
him.
Stingray in Cobra Kai.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But no, he's also a big wrestler guy apparently. Look at his IMDb or his Wikipedia right now. But apparently he's the Mole Man.
Oh wow.
I'll see if I can find the comic panel that he's in and then just send it in chat. But it's kind of funny, just the fact that they so casually drop, I guess, a piece of casting in the comics, which has me excited because I ordered 2 copies of it.
That's cool. I have to go look for it. They've got him credited for Fantastic Four First Steps.
Do they now?
Yep.
I guess we're getting Mole Man then.
At least on Google, it's showing him.
Okay. I mean, I guess we'll see. But if he is in Fantastic Four First Steps,
see.
Those glasses make him
credit him. They don't credit him for anything specific. They just have his name listed for First Steps.
Okay.
Those glasses make him look like either Bebop or Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles. I forget which one.
It'd be the Warthog, so that would be Bebop. Rocksteady's the Rhino. Yeah. Ninja Turtle Nerd 2. Which is a whole other can of canon.
Johnny, have you ever watched Street Sharks?
I have not, but I'm very aware of it.
It's like a knockoff Ninja Turtles. They actually mention it a bunch. They like reference, "Hey, you guys want to get some pizza?" And they'll go, "Ugh, yuck, pizza."
Like I said, I've never seen it, but like I'm aware of all too much of it, and I know they're coming back with a comic apparently.
I used to watch it when I was a kid, and I just found all the episodes on YouTube, and I've been watching like the first few.
I only have the toys. Yeah, I never watched the show. I just had the toys.
It's like me with butt ugly aliens.
Well, so Paul Walter Hauser is listed on IMDb. They do not have him credited to a specific role. He's actually
now we know.
He's in one spot above John Malkovich.
Yeah, apparently they cut out John Malkovich for Steps. Which is shocking because John Malkovich is not easy to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, the new Street Shark comic comes out in September 17th.
Cool.
All right. So with that said, any last overall opinions of the show?
I'm glad they went back to physical armors and that we get like a proper helmet up and then there's kind of armor.
Yeah, the nanotech was too much sometimes.
It's not even just the nanotech. It's just like when you look at Ant-Man's helmet, the way it just collapses off of him. I'm just like, really? That's okay then, I guess.
Well, it's reminiscent to Star-Lord's little.
That's the thing. The Star-Lord one, I'm fine with. Like the way it just digitizes around his face, I'm fine with that. But it's just the way Ant-Man's helmet just and it just disappears off of him. I would like some form of, I don't know. It's just it feels weird.
Like a little canister in the back of his neck.
Something like that, yeah. Or like some kind of way for you to tell that it was still there.
the old the windbreakers where you could tuck your hood into the back.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Which is why
it makes me hard for me to, because it's not realistic being it as a fantasy thing from a comic book that made up somebody's mind.
But it's like I also love like unmaskings, like in Deadpool when he takes off the mask and he has to put it down, or when Wolverine actually pulls up the actual cowl.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Wolverine and the actual cowl. The thing is like hard plastic, but where has that been the whole time? Come on, like
I know, which is like I was hoping there would be
a guy
behind the shot.
This is a guy like you show me a freaking fabric that can lay low like a hood, and then when you
and
pull
still
it
just
over your
perfectly
head,
pop out
perfectly like this. I'm telling you, I was a kid in elementary school with a Batman costume where one of the bat ears was flopped like this. So don't tell me that's even plausible.
The clip of the Batman 1989, and there's that caption of like, when you're in your 40s and you sleep weird, and it's this Batman like looking up with his whole upper body because he can't twist his head.
Well, there was one where it's Batman.
There's a comment in Deadpool and Wolverine where it's like, I know he's like Batman, but he actually moved his neck.
Yeah, it's like I saw a video recently where it was like it was all Michael Keaton's Batman turning and looking, and it's like when you turn to see who your kids were talking with that in that tone.
But at the same time, it is hilarious that Michael Keaton pulled it off that well in that suit. Yeah. Just say, I've rewatched those movies recently. They're still bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it is weird to see him being able to move his neck in The Flash.
Oh man. All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and say where we can find each other. My name is Tony. I'm Mr. Marvelite. You can find me at Mr. Marvelite everywhere on socials. David, go.
My name is David. I am Xanatos1138 on all socials, mostly TikTok, trying to get back into Twitch, and you can find me just all around.
Yep. David has been trying to get into Twitch for the last 4 months, so be sure to check him out when he's on. Or
I keep mentioning it to just be like, I need to do this. I need to do this.
He's manifesting. You're manifesting it. You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
Nah.
Play some Marvel Rivals and just hit the live button.
Really should.
Yeah. Johnny.
Y'all can find me at Marvelous Johnny on all my socials. Twitter. Nope, not Twitter. Why did I say Twitter? I meant Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Those are the main ones. And I actually am doing Twitch. I did one like 3 weeks back. I streamed Alien Isolation, and there's a moment of me screaming. It's great. I recommend it. I clipped it too.
By the way, I don't know if it's because you haven't cut your hair or if you just cut your hair, but I like your haircut. By the way, I don't know.
I have not cut my hair in a while, but I am cutting it next week on Wednesday.
Oh, so you'll lower your ears. But that's Go ahead.
I cut my hair a few days ago, but you can't really tell.
All of it, all
Just
four.
all of it off my head.
I don't think
No.
it's cut as much as just the trim by this point for you, David.
Have you guys found
so
your
sorry.
way? Have you guys found your way to Chet Talk yet?
To what talk?
Chet Talk.
What is chat talk?
Do it, lady.
I have
You don't
no
know what that
idea.
is yet?
No.
Oh, look it up. Look up Chet. But regardless,
Here's the
there's
thing,
a
I
whole.
am so ingrained into politics right now for TikTok. It is
You
actually
need
terrible for my
listen.
health.
You need to look up Chet on TikTok. If you need help, look up Do It Lady, and I promise you, there's one episode where or one like clip where he's talking about how he's got like this thing to stimulate his hair, and he's like, yeah, it's like I'm terrified of going bald. It's like my greatest fear. And then the camera pans and there's a bald guy standing right in front of him. And then the guy goes to walk away and he comes back and he goes, he's like, I'm happy with the way I am. And he's like, I'm happy with the way you are too. And the guy walks away and he's just like, what was that about?
Oh my
But
god.
go look up Chet, CHET, you'll like it. Yeah. With that said, we are on it's fanbox.com, fanboxnetwork.com. Be sure to check us out tomorrow. TARDIS Talk. We are back with David Tennant's run. We are doing New Earth. So basically,
We should specify we're talking about 10th Doctor, not 14.
Yes,
because that guy always keeps coming back.
Yes, cat nurses, the face of Bo,
God.
and Cassandra. So with
Yeah,
that
no,
said,
I watched that episode like weeks and weeks ago, being prepared.
yeah, I kind of felt the ball.
It's like
But
a samba.
It's not your
we'll
fault.
be back. But with that said, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night, and hopefully the next Marvel show will be just as good, if not better.
Or we'll do Fantastic Four talk. That's their next Marvel thing, probably.
Yes.
No, we'll probably do Superman.